There's no light.
We're live!
Woo!
Boy, it's good to be back.
Back in black.
Beautiful. The original three-way, all back together. It's the Sunday Soak, powered by Goose Island.
Yo!
We do the show with your questions only. So it's an all-question show. But before we get to them questions, we got to bring out the humble brag. And the humble brag is I resurrected my 2017 Baderbrow Mud Club wristband for good luck yesterday. And guess what? The White Sox played a complete game, kicked some ass. Everyone's afraid of the Angels. You know what? Fuck the Angels. Vince Velasquez is going to strike out. Mike Trout, he's going to strike out. Shohei Ohtani, he don't give a fuck.
Right? I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And there was that, there was a great moment in there that kind of might be overlooked because of, the Sox actually playing well.
Yeah.
But that moment when Velasquez and Trout it's 2-2, the rain starts pissing down on everybody.
Yeah.
And they both just wanted to finish that at bat. And they almost, if you watch the replay, there's a moment where you're pretty sure that despite there being no umpire, they're going to still pitch. Like he's still going to throw a ball at Trout. And I just thought, man, this is why I go see baseball games. This is the kind of love for the game that I want. And Vince Velasquez has been doing shitty all year.
Yes.
So to see a guy like that going like, I want another pitch against this motherfucker.
Against the guy.
Yeah. It's the man. Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I love it.
Got
me fired up.
I've been slacking. We came back after the game. We were hanging out with some people. I forgot to put the post out of the pickle with the Brazzers because Vince deserves it. Right? Vince deserves that for yesterday's performance. After the show, I'll make sure I get on the Twitters and I put that out there for you guys.
Lowe's Pickle Award.
As I mentioned previously, all questions show. And you guys had some great ones. Actually, I couldn't even fit all the good ones in. So we'll do the best we can, getting as many as possible. And although I host this show, Carmen Mike Sox leads off with a question directed right at the B-Flow. It said, what prompted your newly acquired no free ad stance when I post the pictures of the hashtag 108ing? You know what? I ran into Carmen yesterday. It was good to see you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it'd be funny. Like, I just think it's a funny thing. There's no real motive behind it. People always say, oh, no free ads. Yeah. But I thought, let's put it in picture form. Let's show it in picture form. And so I color over the things. You still obviously know what beer it is. That's what makes it even more fun, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
So.
Right. It's like when you do one of those from an undisclosed location, but it's the sign of the place.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's around there. It's like,
yeah, we're just trying to have a little fun with it. So that's all.
Stole it directly from Barstool Chicago. That's what it is.
They say it all the time.
They
do
say it all the time. And I
know no free ads, but
and that's probably the company MO. This is just us fucking around, basically.
Yeah.
So
our company MO is baseball beer bullshit.
Yes, absolutely correct.
And business.
This is the bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Buy some stuff.
And the next question is from a longtime guy, Matt Ramsey. And Matt Ramsey asks, do you trust humans with a food name? For example, Jake Burger. Now, this is from Friday night because Bonita Stakey was telling Matt Ramsey she does not trust any humans with a food name. So she doesn't trust Jake Burger. So I'm asking you guys, do you trust people with food names?
I have to.
You have to.
Because I am Therese.
You are.
And you're Beef.
Yeah.
There's a level. Yes.
Not a dry eye now.
I absolutely trust the beef loaf. That's the question I'm being asked by Matt
It's
Ramsey.
beef loaf food, though.
It is.
It's
I've seen cans of beef loaf on the internet.
Yeah.
I've never eaten.
No.
I think
We
that would
shouldn't
be
do
weird.
And then,
That would be weird.
Yeah,
You shouldn't eat your brother.
It's
I'll
cannibalism.
try it.
Okay.
You shouldn't eat your brother.
It's still kind of cannibalism. How about you, MSS?
Yeah, no, I love people with food names as long as they're not cartoon characters. Like, if it was like a big hamburger dressed up guy, I'd be like, no, fuck this guy. I don't trust this guy. Like, if the Chicago Dogs had a big hot dog that walked around, I'd be like, I don't trust this dude. But a guy named Jake Burger, sure.
Yeah.
Especially with that bat. That motherfucker's for real.
So you don't trust lifelike food items.
No.
Right.
I think
It was
that's
more
a
the
good
look
stance.
and not
Yeah.
the name.
It's a good stance.
Right. Like, I don't want a big old, like, Big Mac walking up to me. Like, all of those characters.
I do,
that
actually.
were
I
at-
would prefer that over the name. Like, I don't want...
What if it's the one from Max Sabbath? That one looks like a fucking lot. Like,
I don't want to be in a Guar video, okay? I don't want to, nothing to do with that. But I was thinking about it this way. It's different. I mean, Jake Burgers feels common, but if there was a guy named like Tim Lasagna, I don't trust the guy. You gotta think past it. So I kind of agree with Bonita's stance here. Like, the food names can go a certain length. You know,
like Gary Ziti.
like Seth Beer.
I trust Gary Z.
Yeah. Well, you have to, because if you don't,
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
you get rubbed out.
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely trust Grimace, though, because he's a butt plug and not a food item. So.
But like George P. King Duck, don't trust the guy, all right? You gotta draw the line somewhere, okay? Some of the common ones, Seth Beer, I might trust a Seth Beer. Jake Burger, I probably would trust.
Is beer a food item, though?
You know?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. I think
All
it's
right.
gotta
It's
be.
one of the first breads.
Puts a lot of weight on you. I know that.
All right, the next question is from White Sox Sal.
Hey, go fuck yourself, Sal.
Excellent. White Sox Sal has two questions. First one is, how did I miss this thread? And then your early season thoughts on the ballpark. I'd be happy to answer the first one. The reason you missed this thread is your brain's deteriorating from old age and watching too much NASCAR.
Uh-huh.
Gentlemen, what about your early thoughts in the ballpark?
So I think so far I'm not a fan of kind of the changes that were made over the offseason.
Yeah.
What was made?
So the light landing and the Visi view thing,
Yeah.
it's just like you walked into the generic aisle at the store.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so I'm not like crazy about that. But more, I'm not crazy about the scoreboard. And like, for some reason,
different.
they're doing this backwards where the dark background is during the night and the bright gray background is during the day. Look, man, I'm already colorblind. You're really fucking with me now. Like, I'm looking at the scoreboard like I can't even tell if it's 4 or 10 feet from me. Like, it's like it's too much.
Yeah.
Too much brightness in the day game. It looks awful. They got to fix that. If they went to the dark during the day, it would look awesome. I just don't know why it's flipped. It's weird.
You heard that, Sox nerd? You better get out of that shit. How about
Right.
How about you?
I also think that the new editions some look somewhat chintzy. Like they just threw up new stickers on stuff and just feel like, this is this now. So it has no good feel to it.
Yeah.
So hopefully they resurrect that or change that or whatever the fuck I was trying to say.
I think you made a good point the other day. You were like, why not just put a gigantic Miller Lite can there?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
have something.
Yeah.
Like,
Or like one of those old aluminum bottles that they used to have. Like they
Yeah,
just
right.
gotta have one of those somewhere. Throw it
Right.
out there. I was not shocked by people's inability to use the fucking restroom yesterday.
It was
like
horrible.
once there's like more than 25 people in that park, everyone forgets it. And it's like, Cousin Eddie when they fire up the microwave. Everyone like their brain goes blank and they just piss themselves.
So I want to talk about a bathroom experience that I had yesterday.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm about to. I walked all the way to the back of the line to go to the bathroom, and I run into Chelsea there. So
Okay.
and this guy's smart. All right, he had a fucking Cuban sandwich for the weight, and he crushed the Cuban. But he ate the last bite as we walked up to the part where you get to the garbage can. It was perfectly timed. But we're standing behind these three guys, and the one guy goes to the back door, which is the risk when you have the long line.
Yeah.
You stand in line.
There were
like
people doing that.
that,
Yeah.
people going through the back, and I was like, that's a pretty good move with the situation. And they're like, and that guy needs to do it. He's known for pissing his pants.
You know what they can see here, folks. Like, here's another smart thing with our good post about the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay. If we line up behind people in the urinals, the back door enter guys they got to get right in line with everybody.
Yeah, they
else.
can't cut.
So if you're sitting in the front and being that dumb fuck that's waiting for the next open urinal and not allowing people just to come in and free form it all, you are allowing people to back cut.
Yep.
So it's actually going to take longer, and you kind of deserve it. Service, beer lines, all that shit, great.
Yeah.
Use some more
Much
vendors.
improved.
Vendors could have better beer in their buckets.
That would be nice.
We don't necessarily need all summer shandies when it's 32 degrees out. But for the most part, like getting into the park was easy until yesterday. It wasn't bad.
Yep.
It seems that things move quick. I wish that the stupid stadium club would have had more than 2 boxes of those goddamn jerseys so I could have got one. If I knew that I wasn't going to get one, I would have gotten in line at gate 5. People were like, Oh, dude, that line went so fast at gate 5. So apparently gate 5 is like the quick one. Those lines were ridiculous. Like, I'm used to lines. They were fucking a joke yesterday. People wanted that fucking hockey sweater so fucking bad. But, you know, hey, listen. Good for them. What about you? Nothing?
I got no comments.
Right.
Fuck it. I'm here to watch good baseball. Finally saw some yesterday. The next question is from Brewhead Luke. And Brewhead Luke says, there was recently an ambulance stolen from Chinatown, which led to a 75-mile high-speed chase. Which person from White Sox tour is most likely to steal an ambulance from Chinatown? Also, would they succeed in eluding the police in a high-speed chase? What do you guys think? Who's stealing an ambulance?
See, when someone asks a question like this, it's because they are thinking about doing it.
He's the driver's ed teacher.
Right.
So he thinks he could elude the police. That's what he's baiting the question here for. I'm with you right here.
And so, Luke, I will tell you, you can do this. I have confidence in you. We need Carrot Top and Tom. He's playing. I hear he's playing the 21st. Don't go to that show. Go to my show. But it's a good day to steal an ambulance and blame it on someone else.
That's the thing. If you want to be a criminal and you look like Luke, you have to be the kind of guy who you want to really make your mark on society and be well known. You're not going to be covert and get away with shit.
Yeah,
that's not the angle you're doing here. So this has got to be a high flying thing. So this would be the perfect kind of thing for him. It'll be all over the news. The red hair's flying everywhere when he's driving. Like, I can totally see this. Absolutely.
Large props.
Have large props.
Now, and Luke, after you do this, please blog about this, okay? Not another running blog, all right? People know how to run already. But we want to first get
about how to steal an ambulance.
Steal an ambulance and evade the police. That's what we need out of you, Luke. I mean, come on.
Best beers to drink before you steal an ambulance.
Best beers to drink when you get out of the clink after stealing your ambulance. All right. Next question is
I had an idea.
Oh, you got a different guy
who could steal one, and we know who could totally do it. Adam Casey. Yep, that guy. He get all fucked up. You know, he's just gonna go steal that goddamn thing
and drive it to Chicago.
Well, he could, or he might just be in town having a good, totally great time. And, you know, that could happen. So that's who might be my pick.
Excellent.
I like that pick.
Any guy that can be drunk for 72 hours in a row, allegedly, like, definitely can steal a fucking ambulance.
He shouldn't be driving. And that's why I don't like that pick. I'm not a fan of that pick because he shouldn't be behind the wheel.
Okay.
Right? I like the driver's ed teacher stealing because he knows the rules of the road. He might not choose to use them, but he understands.
What if Adam steals it and KC drives to Chicago and then goes on the 72 hour?
I was going to say, and then Luke drives for him? That would be fine.
I just think he's crazy.
All right, next question is from King Nam. And Nam, thanks for sitting in for MSS so valiantly the last couple times in the Sunday Soak. And this question was, what was more satisfying? Janice getting rid of Richie or Phil in the car? So these are Sopranos kills. Janice Soprano killing Richie Aprile in their in Livia's house.
Yep.
And then when Phil Leotardo gets assassinated, if you will, at the gas station, and he falls down and the car runs over his fucking head. So Treasy, which one is more satisfying?
I mean, we've talked about this, and not in this particular.
Which you
want?
So
like, I think
that's all I got.
We had talked about the most satisfying kills of all time of a villain, and the Phil Leotardo one is one of my top already.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go with that one because like that one, like I've not built up that much hate for a character as I built up for Phil over his arc.
Right.
And like seeing him get killed was good.
Yeah.
But the car rolling over his head and then showing it very graphically was like 100% like what I did.
Yeah, I mean, Frank Vincent is Phil Leotardo. Like Frank Vincent is in like all the mob movies.
Yep.
He's like a tertiary character in all of them.
It's a silver fox.
Yeah, yes, he is. Gorgeous head of silver hair. But and then Sopranos, they decided to make him one of the main guys in the show and like really show out what he can do. And he was a terrific fucking.
He was awesome
because he rode the roller coaster, right? He tried. Okay. You know, everything's going to be fine. And then he got pissed off again, and then he went back at Tony. And that was the part of the series we really were fearing for Tony's life. You're like, hey, man, they're going to take these guys down. And so it was a super satisfying kill. All that being said, Richie Aprile was the biggest son of a bitch ever, and he was on the side. He was on the side of the group.
Right.
And so I really did enjoy it. I liked it because it's surprising to me at the time, too. You thought as a mob family, they were going to have to whack him out.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of happened for them nicely. You know, like, so it's very satisfying. Plus, he also laid hands on Janice.
And
that's way out of line.
That's you get shot for that.
That's something that can't be tolerated.
I got nothing more to add. That was perfect.
Like Dr. James Carville. All right. Next question is from our guy Baloney. Baloney wants to know:
Yogurt,
you get
or man.
You get one meal with a Sox player. Is it spaghetti with TA, Domino's pizza with Luis Robert, or 2-week-old Easter candy from Dollar General with Reese? I'm going to start my Sox. What's your meal of choice with a White Sox player?
I'm going to go with Domino's with Luis Robert because, like, Domino's is actually not.
Damn it.
I mean, it's pretty awful pizza. It's not great pizza, but they have these garlic knot things that are fucking pretty dope. So I would do that with Luis Robert, and we talk some shit because I don't like spaghetti.
That's the worst choice.
Why?
Because think about it this way: you're gonna be sitting there with Luis Robert, who is just a chiseled piece of perfection.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be thinking about is how differently his body processes Domino's pizza than yours.
And right now, wait till later.
You'll just be like, I'm just kind of sad that like this is just making him stronger somehow. And I might shit right here.
You're deteriorating as a human.
I'm gonna shit right here, but somehow gain weight.
All right, smart guy, will you take it?
2 days of your life by eating that meal with him.
Well, I mean, like obviously, I'm gonna go for the highest risk situation. I'm gonna have a little carjack with Reese.
Keep your mouth shut, son.
A Katie carjack.
That's gross. I'm not doing that.
What do you got, Lo? What are you doing?
I mean, I would do the spaghetti with TA only because I want to meet his wife. I think his wife is probably more interesting than he is. You ever see there's like a dynamic male, but then you don't realize that their wife is maybe sometimes even more dynamic than they are.
Yeah,
so I'd be interested.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'd be interested in talking with her.
I've met her.
She seems cool.
I've talked about it famously. My kid and Timmy's oldest and my oldest, like, were looking at each other's shoes and then not talking to each other. And I told May, you ruined your shot at becoming friends with her. And I reminded her as a 3-year-old, you fucked everything up. We could have been.
He's not worried about the friendship for his child. He's worried about unlimited Timmy autographs.
Dude, how dope would it be to be hanging out at Tim's pack?
That would be awesome.
All the dads right now who are watching this, they agree. 80 grade dadding right there. You got to let your kids know when they fuck up, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's positive reinforcement. Then there's also what we've been talking about all week: kicking someone in the ass. You got to kick the kids in the ass sometimes when they need it. Occasionally, once in a while, not too much. You know.
And I don't want to brag or nothing, but that was like Sox Fest like 17 before Timmy was anything special, right? People were like, "Oh, he's cool," but you know,
right.
He ain't gonna sustain this next year.
Yeah, you were at Martyrs to see Nirvana.
We were already in there. Yeah.
All right, next question. Oh, that's funny. The next question is from Shane Spagnola. Saw Shane this
Shane?
weekend. Good to see you, buddy.
He likes tea. He likes hard teas.
Does he?
Yeah, and he likes mixing the Crown with the tea.
Oh man, that sounds good.
He's got some good hacks down there. That Shane, I like it.
Shane says, if you could, who in the section 108 would you kick in the ass to get their shit straight? And he clarified it with me yesterday. He said, Beef, I mean anyone that sits in this section. So not just you guys in 108 crew, but anyone who sits in this fucking section. You guys have any thoughts on this?
I have an easy. This is an easy one.
Yeah,
me.
You kick your own ass?
I need you guys to kick it. My tolerance has been shot. Just weak showing.
Yeah.
Just absolute weak showing so far. This
you got to
this
eat,
weekend.
buddy.
That's probably
a little bit of food,
problem, but like I just
maybe stay hydrated a little bit.
These are all good tips. But like, I'm disappointed in myself right now. I'm coming off the off season, and I'm like the Sox right now.
Yeah,
I'm on a cold streak. I gotta get heat up. I gotta get better.
I'm going to take a guy that comes down to our section in Lovely yesterday was wearing our 108 original logo, OG logo, crew neck sweatshirt that's available from the 108.com.
A lot of those left.
Steve-O sometimes gets a little too blotto, gets a little crazy,
that's true.
starts hollering. So every once in a while we got to kick him in the butt. But you know what? Yesterday people were like, dude, you did such a good job on the 108 tourney thing and blah, blah, blah. And we talked that through and he's like, man, I just felt really bad, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I felt really bad. He's like, dude, I felt so bad for you. So yes, I'm going to kick Steve-O right in the ass.
I don't understand that excuse. What do I feel bad about?
I felt bad about my internet, like cutting out the whole time. I was so frustrated.
Yeah. That's one under the bridge, baby. I met Steve-O's dad yesterday. Awesome dude. Got a chance to talk to him for a while. I just let him know how well his son did on our show with us, and he was terrific. And so he was just very appreciative that we included him.
Yeah.
And, really nice guy.
I met him too, but only for a second. I didn't talk to him.
You didn't.
Does he look like Steve-O? Does he got a big flush hair?
He's taller,
Yeah.
so he's like my height, and like probably he's a big guy. He's a big guy. Yeah, exactly. And Steve-O was telling me about how his dad was just like they'd go out together, and his dad would just drink him right on the fucking.
Oh.
I don't see that being difficult. Steve, but that makes sense.
Right.
All right. So who would I kick in the ass?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna go back to an earlier question. A guy who's got a lot of potential. A guy who we've loved, including as part of the 108 family, has helped build community with us. That's Brewhand Luke. I need to see a little more Brewhand Luke. I need that. The other day he was upset that we weren't breaking his balls. I'm gonna start breaking your balls. Get the timing on the goddamn Louis Garcia home run bet, okay, motherfucker? When you got to be able to put that out there when he actually hits it. You can't miss if you're going to be on that.
Yeah.
If we're going to be Jets money line, motherfucker, we got to be Jets money line. So you got to do it.
You got to go every day.
You got to go every day on that bit and make sure when you hit it, the whole audience knows that you hit that shit.
Right.
You know,
you only got to hit it once out of every
one
11
time.
times.
Yeah, exactly.
One time.
And when you hit it once or twice a year, everyone's like, "Oh man, that's the Louis Garcia home run bet guy." You know, and then you got a real bit going right there. So I'm gonna push on Luke.
Write a fucking beer blog.
So he's got great potential. That's why.
Yes.
Look,
He's showing me some good beers that he found at the park already. I'm excited for it.
We only kick in the ass because we care and we know it's worth it. Otherwise, we're not wasting our time kicking Wally Bunny in the ass. We know he's old and useless at this point. We can't. There's nothing there, you know. Like, I mean, a nice haircut. All right, congrats.
Wally is doing the getting drunk on the wrong days and staying sober on the wrong days. He's still in spring training.
Impressive. The next question is from Mansuli.
What's up, buddy?
15 round or 15 seed upset.
Yeah.
And he has a fuck, marry, kill for us. It is Daryl Boston, Joe McEwing.
Oh,
Close. And Miguel Cairo. I'm going to start with my stock summer.
So,
fuck, marry, kill.
Listen.
Debo, Joe McEwing, Super Joe, or Miguel Cairo? Go.
Debo, fuck him. You got to do it, right? Like it's Debo.
I mean, it's gonna happen either way.
Right. I mean,
He gonna fuck.
You don't have a choice. Mary, Joe McEwing. I met the guy. Lovely man. Very nice. Great guy.
Yeah.
Miguel Cairo, you're dying mostly because I don't know who the fuck you are. I've never met you. Like, I'm not sure, what our vibe would be. He seems like a great enough guy.
Yeah.
But between those two, Daryl Boston will kill me if I try to kill him. So, I could probably kill Miguel Cairo.
Fuck you first, though.
Yeah. Fuck me, then kill me. Maybe both. Maybe both.
Possibly both.
I think that was the answer.
I would flip it, actually. I would flip out McEwing and Miguel Cairo. I would marry Miguel Cairo because he's handsome and he's broad shoulders and nice-looking guy. Mm-hmm. Joe McEwing, for my taste, for my ball club, he takes a good amount of risks that I like to see.
Yeah.
But for a marriage, I don't need that many risks.
Yeah.
Joe. You're a fucking wild card. I have to kill you. I cannot marry you.
So whatever he does today, that's his last risk ever.
He's whacked out. He's gone. That's it for him. All right, next question is from Nick Garcia. Longtime guy, saw Nick at the ballpark this weekend as well. He said, if you could star in the remake of any Nicolas Cage film, which one would it be and why? Terezi, I'll let you go first.
I mean, honestly, what I immediately thought of was not even remaking a movie, but making the Werewolf Women of the SS, which was the Grindhouse trailer.
Yeah.
But Nicolas Cage is in that. Now, I was like, oh, I've got a star in this, meaning I'd be starring in his spot.
Yep.
And he was doing Fu Manchu, and it was
funny.
pretty racist.
It was pretty racist.
So I was like, all right, that was 15 years ago, and people were like, that's funny. I
Now
feel like it's probably not going to be good.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Ghost Rider. I think Ghost Rider is a movie nowadays. You put out a superhero movie, man, it makes $1 billion. So I will have $1 billion.
Yeah.
And
$1 billion.
I think a Mexican Ghost Rider, it feels good. There was one in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and it was pretty dope. I loved it. So I'll do that. I mean, I'm a little thick for the role, but maybe
we'll slim you down.
Maybe we'll get one of those bigger motorcycles, with the 3
Fat
wheels.
boy.
Daily Animals and Sunny Your Butthole. We'll slim you down.
Good.
Summer. How about you? What do you think?
I wouldn't say I thought you were gonna go obscure movie, and you did. Kind of.
Yeah. Take some mainstream shit, baby.
I'm gonna go with Wild at Heart, which was yet another fucking just crazy movie. Just because I want to be inside of a David Lynch movie. Like that would be fun. Like, and plus he gets to like bone down Laura Dern when she was still good looking. Before like fucking Neil Young got up in that shit and destroyed it. Like I want to be in the
ruined his fit.
He's like, oh, Laura Dern, she ain't good looking no more. She's like 60, dude.
I'm saying,
at least minimum, man.
Well, you know what ages you? Neil Young.
Apparently.
How about you, Loaf?
I would go with Gone in 60 Seconds. I know it's a cheesy ass fucking movie.
And I think it is a remake.
It's a remake of a remake. But it's a fun movie. And his love interest is Angelina Jolie.
Yeah,
so you can't go wrong there.
Yeah.
And he, I just enjoy it. Look, I like a cheesy movie sometimes. That's a cheesy ass movie, and I just enjoy
good
the
action.
concept. Good action in that movie.
Was his love interest actually her or the car? I think it was the car.
Well, it was more the car. He was conflicted a little bit, but yeah.
And I get that from you because you fuck Roombas.
Whoa. Allegedly. That's allegedly.
Soon to be Yeti Coolers.
Fuck both of you two. How's that sound?
He was telling me how soft the one Yeti Cooler is. Yeah.
The next question is go fuck yourself. How's that sound?
Are we done?
The next question is actually from Little Yumper. Little Yumper says, and this is also a movie question. We've seen Yump at the ballpark. Good to see you, my friend. His question is this: best movie to watch when you're under the weather? And I'm gonna let my sex number go first.
Jesus.
It's a great question.
It is a great question.
Like what's my go-to movie? Like my probably one of my favorite movies to watch just in general is Say Anything. Like I like Say Anything. And because it's a good true love story, but it's also not like at the end like they definitely broke up 6 weeks later, like and then like poor fucking like I can't even remember his name. Oh, Lloyd Dobler is living in fucking Europe, and he's like, I don't know what I'm fucking doing. And he starts selling furniture. It's bad. It ended badly, but it's a great movie up to that point.
I love it. It's gonna be all the feels when you're not
all the
feels.
feels.
I love it.
I love it.
Chorizo, how about you?
I watch Half Baked. It's only like 70 minutes.
Yeah.
And also, like, if you jam up a bunch of NyQuil to like try and
yeah,
like that's a good movie to watch. I mean, you're all NyQuil'd out. Yep. So like that movie that's always a go-to for me when I'm under the weather.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking any Will Ferrell comedy, like The Campaign or something like that, is real easy to like just lay on the couch, you feel like shit, but occasionally there's a really funny part and you're like, oh great, but nothing that you really got to concentrate on because you're trying to zone out, man. You're trying to get some rest. So some easy comedy like that, something with Will Ferrell would be my choice. The next question is Chicago Brush Lion, and Lion asked if the entire White Sox roster got thrown in the Squid Game right now, who's the only survivor?
Have any of us watched Squid Game?
Yeah, I've watched some episodes, but not the whole thing.
I've not seen any of it, so I'm going to answer this as though it's The Predator. And so you're asking who the Arnold Schwarzenegger of the team is, and he's not on the roster, but it's Frank Menachino. Frank Menachino survived.
He's the one rolling
with his survivor. He's a survivor for sure. Actually, he's probably more the Jesse the Body.
Yeah.
He's more the Jesse the Body with the gun, the Gatling gun. So I'm gonna go Jose Abreu.
Okay.
Guy will eat his own fucking passport.
Yeah.
He can take down the Predator.
Yeah, he almost lost the ball during one season.
And he wanted to play through not having a ball.
He's a tough guy.
There's grit there. That's the kind of guy that survives a Predator attack.
So that's a good thing. My thought behind this though is who's the luckiest guy on this team, because it's going to take a little luck
for sure.
And you have to go with the guy that we think is gone all the time, and then he's not. And he's back, and he's getting a contract extension, and they're having a press conference to welcome him back. And it's Lueri Garcia. He is 100% winning the fucking Squid Game because you can't get rid of him. And you know what? He's going to do something potentially today, like he did the other day when he hit that home run, just to keep in people's minds like, I don't know, maybe he is good.
I love MSS's answer. That's what I would go with as well. He is unkillable, man. He is the guy who flies under the radar. He's unkillable, but he's also tough. He's been on the roster the longest. He's been here the longest and stayed with the team. So, yeah, I love that answer right there. The next question is from our guy, Josh Nelson. Josh, how are you doing? He said, instead of turning Lot B into mini Wrigleyville, what's missing on Halstead that you'd like to see get built there? And I will start with my section.
Definitely not a drive-through, you sadist bastard. What I would like in the neighborhood, honestly, and I know there's one sort of close, but not. We need a sports memorabilia place. We need a legit sports fucking joint where people can come before the game and go and buy overpriced trinkets. Right? And maybe our shit's in there too.
So instead of like a grandstand where it's like, just a team-based stuff, you're going like
cards
stuff, and they'll frame your stuff for you. They'll get they do that whole kind of stuff. There was one of those in the West Loop, which I was always like, this has to be a front because like, how do you afford a storefront in the West Loop?
Right.
And it's this. But I like that.
I think we could do that. I mean, there's plenty of open buildings on Halstead that we could throw. And we could have signings. You know,
it's true.
And you know what? And if we want to keep it neighborhood themed, we could have sports memorabilia and we could do nails. So like, we
don't have enough nail shops.
We could have both kinds.
Use a few more nail shops. That's a good
dry
job.
clean.
The wives can get their nails done while the guys are buying a Albert Pujols jersey that's been framed. That's very beautiful.
Sounds great.
What about you? So I was thinking about this because I was thinking from the standpoint of the Removal will be there eventually.
Correct.
Right. So like once that's there and you're having shows like a few times a week, you're having baseball games. I think two things that I would like to see. One, if that becomes a venue that bands are coming to pretty regularly, a small record shop next.
Yep.
Right.
Great call.
And I would love it if it was like the Pinwheels guys in Pilsen come over and have like a little shop, maybe even within the facility.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was, I was thinking about, here's a problem that Bridgeport has. They have a bunch of people who want to start restaurants, and they're generally good.
Yeah.
And you go there a couple times, but like on their own, they can't sustain.
Yeah, the competition's too much of the ones that are already there standing.
So that big parking lot that is between, like it's on like 36 right over there
between Sheehan's and the
the
ward office. Basically. Yeah.
Build a food hall there, and so you could have rotating number of restaurants.
Yeah.
If a restaurant fails, well then you replace it with another one. But they don't have the overhead. Like the individual owners don't have the overhead of opening up their own place and everything.
Yeah.
And it's just like you go up there, you get your sandwich, you get whatever, and you go sit, and there's a whole big area to sit. And then like people would go to that before they go to the Remova for a show. People would go to that before they go to a game, things like that. So like it could be I think it'd be a really good spot.
I love your guys' answers so far. I have two additional ones that you guys haven't brought up. Number one, and it was a huge mistake when they tore this place down on 26th Street. Bridgeport needs a bowling alley. It desperately needs a bowling alley to bring people together, bowling leagues and stuff, darts, all that stuff. Just like the neighborhood. Yeah, they do. They need dartboards and a bowling alley. And this is like something that all neighborhoods need. A place to kind of organize, get together. They can have leagues, all that stuff.
Us being the last place team in the league every year is fucking tremendous.
Yeah, the best price, though.
The one that's right.
Best
108 bowling shirt. I mean that's shit.
108 branded gloves.
So we need that from an entertainment standpoint. We need that. The other thing we need is, I was thinking along the lines of you, Teresi, with the Remova coming in there. Bridgeport could actually use a nonprofit, sort of like the Looking Glass Theater. Like what David Schwimmer used to keep. He was like the main person who was donating to the Looking Glass Theater. They could use some sort of theater type production here in Bridgeport. They could use some sort of some additional art, because like it looks like the Remova is going to start bringing bands here, which would be great. I mean, it's great to have live music here, and then add on to that a little bit. Let's add a little more onto the art.
I think that might end up being in the Remova complex because they had other. When they were talking about it, there was other venues, small venues for intimate performances and special events.
Oh wow!
So if there is like a 100-person or 50-person little theater in there, I think that would be amazing.
That would be awesome, right? I mean, that would be great for, and it would be great for like even if De La Salle wanted to come over and have their theater group come and do a performance there, and have a little bigger audience. So like, I just think it's something we could use. We could have an event there.
We could Slim Mick back into the acting game. Him and Cornsey could redo the Fantastics. Like he did like in high school.
I love it. I love that idea. All right, next up is from Bobby Southside. And Bobby Southside says, is the 108 offseason weight loss contest having a detrimental effect on the ball club this year? My Sox summer, since you were a big winner, is it partially your fault the Sox suck? Is the guy asking the question?
I don't think so. But I know when the numbers go down for their sales of alcohol or booze mostly, and then fat food, that 100% related to us.
Fat food?
Yeah. Like, Baruch and Luke is back there telling me, I hear the pineapple duffy's coming back. It's coming back.
And
I'm like,
shit, yeah.
ain't drinking that shit because there's too much goddamn sugar. I'm gonna stick with my Solos and my Light Skies and all that bullshit beer that's not even beer.
We're gonna have a Light Sky intervention.
There's no question.
You're gonna walk into a room one day.
They have a pineapple one.
You're thinking you're coming over for the Sunday soak. Your whole family's in the tub. My Sock Summer.
My whole family.
A lot of people in this hot tub love you and care about it.
Most of the people in here.
Most. But this Light Sky stuff's gotta stop.
He's like the fat guy who said got 3 cheeseburgers and a Diet Coke. That's why I always put the Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi when I got all the McRibs. Because I'm trying to show out like that. You know?
He's like the guy with the McRibs.
3 McRibs.
Yeah.
3 McRibs and a Diet Coke.
Something
Yeah, absolutely right. I think yes.
Yeah.
I think we are having a detrimental effect. That's why I had to come with the good lecture, right?
We're ruining it.
The super fans got it's our job. The momentum is our job, basically. We're not on the field playing, and neither is Tony La Russa. We've both been fucking up all year.
I like that the brewer we drank out of business is bracelet is the good luck charm of
It's a ghost.
2022.
Yeah.
It's a friendly ghost, though. It's a friendly ghost.
What about you, Chorizo?
No, I agree with you.
Oh, okay.
All right.
About Light Sky? Awesome.
Next question is from Barry Bag of Donuts, longtime guy. Barry says,
What's up, Barry?
"Am I a fool for being confident the Sox are going to turn this around?" Treasy.
No, you're not being a fool. I think it's a reasonable thing to think because you have to look at what the other teams in the division are doing, which is inexplicably winning. And then the Sox inexplicably losing.
Right.
This team's too good to worry right now. Now, it's reasonable to go, what I'm watching right now scares the shit out of me for the playoffs.
Yep.
But I think you should still have an assumption that they will be in the playoffs. And so I think it's not crazy to say I'm confident in this team. I think they can go forward. I think it is a little foolish to go, what we've got on the roster right now can clobber a team in the playoffs.
MSS, what do you think here?
I think that, when do you want this team to figure it out? You don't want them to figure it out now and then be tired by the time the playoffs roll around. Let's figure it out all-star break. Yeah. And then, we'll be in contention in our division. That's not even going to be a problem, right? I don't think – we saw yesterday a little bit of firepower and how quickly we can turn shit around. We get one fucking home run, and that game is over.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's all it takes. And it's like, so you've got to remember, we're a stick of dynamite. At some point, it's going to blow up, right? And we just haven't had it happen yet. People are hurt. There's a lot of they're probably down on themselves. They don't understand, that whole bullshit we talked about it on Thursday. But I'm saying, don't worry about them yet. They'll figure it out. And hopefully then they'll be healthy by the end of the season and everything's firing on all cylinders. And then it's just fucking parade time.
Barry, I agree with the boys. I don't think you're foolish for thinking that. But also anyone who's been like, oh shit, during this, it's also reasonable to be a little concerned because all the things that you were worried about could go wrong with this team, you've been watching go wrong. Yeah. And it's like, and I see the tweets from my guy, Ken W. Oh, it's a long season. You have streaks like this. That is true. But they haven't been like, oh, we got unlucky during the streak. We've been getting our asses kicked during the streak. Yes. They've been losing badly and having 3 hits in a game and shit. Not really showing up to play at all, seemingly. And so if you're scared of the White Sox don't hit right-handed pitching, they've been giving you a reason to be scared of that because they're not hitting right-handed pitching at all. There's a lot of things here where I agree with My Sox Summer. It's a bundle of dynamite. You can see this shit turn around in no time, and you wouldn't even think about this losing streak again. They go off on it. But there was enough doubt in your mind already about certain things, and all that shit showed up in the first 3 weeks. And so totally reasonable for both sides. So if you think this team's going to come back, yes, I understand that. If you're scared shitless and thinking, it's very possible we finish third in this division, that shit is also on the table after what we've seen in the last 3 weeks. Yeah. All right, the next question is from Father Zoe. It's a good follow-up to this. When will the White Sox stop making me want to punch things? Treasy.
Never.
You're always going to want to punch shit.
It's part of the cycle of being a fan.
MSS,
punch things?
Punch things. When will the White Sox make me want to stop punching things?
I just don't care. I care, but I don't care that much that I got to hit something.
Yeah.
I'll just yell at my kids.
Totally natural.
I'm like,
get drunk, yell at your children. That's what we do, all right? White Sox fans do that. The next question is from Mailman Jack. Mailman Jack says, you're out with a group at a restaurant, having a great time. Everyone's enjoying the evening. Time for the entrees to show up. Yours shows up, but it's not quite right. Do you send it back?
It has to be egregiously wrong.
Yeah, what is it?
You know, like, so, like, I would, you know, like, a lot of times you get a steak and it's not cooked to the temperature that you wanted. As long as it's not, like, well done, you know,
you just go with
you're going to eat it.
Yeah.
Like,
right?
well done.
Right.
Like, it could even be like a little well done.
When you cut it open and it's brown all the way through, you're like, hey, bro, I ordered medium rare.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, and if you spend a lot of money on that steak too,
Right?
Like if you go to Denny's, right, or like any place off Fremont, you know, and like and it's like a $3 steak. I know they probably don't do those anymore, but when you would get like the prime rib for like $5, you know, when you get
what you get.
You get like 7 potatoes with it. But yeah, I mean, if you spent $75 on the steak, then I think you definitely are sending that shit back. But if like you get rice pilaf instead of like the baked bean casserole or whatever the fuck, I don't give a fuck. Like
okay,
that's
you're
fine.
good with that.
Yeah, like my mother-in-law will send something back. Like this was supposed to be on the left side of the plate, not the right side of the plate. Please take this back and give me something better.
Now, what I might do is if, like, let's say they gave me the wrong side, I'd be like, look, I ate half of this side, but this was the wrong one. Could you give me the
low-key strong move right there? Yeah, I'm not going to upset the apple cart generally. You guys brought up a good point. It's like, if it really defines the meal wrong. Like, so, like, cooking a steak a couple grades above, I'll go 1 or 2 grades above, but when they start getting to, like, medium well, and I had mine medium rare, which sort of, like, shaded towards rare, I don't want that anymore. Fucking redo this motherfucker. Yeah. But for the most part, if it's a little off, I'm good. But it's like, if you, let's say you wanted to order a hamburger and it came with cheese on it, you don't want that fucking cheese. That's a send back. That changes the meal completely. That's a send back. So there are levels to this. Like, yes, a cooking grade, maybe you don't give a shit, but there might be some element to the meal you did not want. And if they put that element in there, you got to send it back.
Wasn't it Horatio Sands in Road Trip when the little skinny kid like puts it back because it has powdered sugar on it, and he just sits there and like all over like that's like I think about that all the time. Yeah, you're like, no, sir, that's fine. I am lactose intolerant, but I will eat that cheese. No, I'm fine. I do not want your ball sweat all over my face.
Extra flavor. Wow. Next question is from our guy Chris McGowan. And Chris says, Phil Jackson was famous for giving books to the 90s Bulls players to read. What books would Phil give to Tony La Russa, Tim Anderson, and Rick Hahn? Do we read enough to even
I mean, TLR is getting a pamphlet. We know what that's about.
I mean, I was thinking about Hahn a little bit. I want Hahn to think more dynamically, right? The biggest complaints about Rick Hahn, from those of us that complain about Rick Hahn, is like, it feels like he doesn't think through in dynamic terms. He thinks in sort of short one step, like always adding to the bullpen for some reason. It's like, this is not a dynamic thought process. So I would put in front of him like one of the great gambling books. I'd put maybe Barry Greenstein's poker book or Fortune's Formula or something like that. You know, a book that are fooled by randomness might not seem to love. I'd put like an investor book in front of him that would help him get out of the funk of just like thinking one step ahead.
I was thinking of being way more of a prick and giving him future value.
You ever heard of these guys? Well, I was thinking, give him Moneyball. Have you ever heard of Billy Bean?
Yeah, that was my thing. Give him Moneyball. They even have a movie. You don't even have to read.
If you don't want to read, but I'm sure you love Brad Pitt. You just watch Brad Pitt. Right?
I think for TA, a book, you know, like something like one of the books like someone like John Wooden, right?
Yeah.
Like where it's a leadership book really, but it's a sports themed book. I think that could be something great for him because he's the leader of this team. And I think we're seeing it time and time again that in positive or negative how Timmy goes, the team goes.
That's true.
And so I think 100%. Something like that would be a nice book for him to read. And I'm sticking with the pamphlet to TL.
Absolutely. All right. Next question is from Sean. And Sean says, "How are you feeling about TLR at this point? Do you believe he's part of the reason they're playing poorly?" Teresa, you want to start this?
I mean, he can't be part. He can't be helping. Like, I mean, like, do you think that like TLR is the thing that's keeping them from being absolutely terrible? Because I don't. Right. Like, so he's got to be contributing in some way. Again, we don't know the dynamics of what goes on in the clubhouse.
Right. It's
but
tough to know.
This team sucks right now. some of that has to be on the manager. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It just has to be.
Right.
Well, and the reverse is true. If you're not going to credit him when they're fucking good, or like last year, everyone's like, anybody could have done that with this team. But now it's like, it's totally taking these guys down. Like you can't be on both sides of the fence. I know it's a tired fucking thing that I yell out every year.
But it's right.
But you can't say, he matters when it sucks, but he doesn't matter when it's
they're
good.
Exactly.
So like you have I feel like
He matters both times.
yeah, I feel like he's this much of matters, right? This is how much the matter is. He's like this much, right? He's not that much of a thing. He could make some bad calls, right? He can make put some people in some positions.
Early in the season.
And he has, but that also goes on his assistants too.
Oh, for sure.
His assistants should be in there. Ethan Katz should get his shit.
This question,
Your boyfriend, Miguel Cairo, he should get some shit.
My husband got
Your husband. I'm sorry.
This question.
Sorry
when
to
I read
cheapen
it,
your relationship.
when I read it, it felt like the scene in Reservoir Dogs when Buscemi comes in to talk to Keitel, and he's like, "Is this bad? Is this bad?" And Keitel looks at him and goes, "As opposed to good." Yeah, Tony's doing a bad job right now.
I mean, I said it on the podcast. Like Tony, it feels like fancy play syndrome in poker. It feels like in some spots he's trying to do weird shit, esoteric shit. It's just do the most obvious shit right now, right? This team is down or whatever. But I agree with these guys. Like, there is some amount of blame there, but there is also some amount of credit when the team does well, all right? And Tony's not a fucking moron, okay?
Right.
The problem with evaluating Tony is you have two camps out there, out in the social media Twitterverse. People who are immediately, Tony's terrible at everything, he's very bad. And people who, no matter what dumb-ass fucking move Tony makes, they defend the shit relentlessly. So it makes it very tough. I don't think he's getting as bagged as badly as Ricky Renteria did. So we haven't devoted a lot of time in the podcast to say, well, hang on, you're misjudging Tony here. I think there's kind of enough balance on that shit. But yes, of course, he's somewhat involved in this. And, he should be somewhat involved with a turnaround of this team eventually.
Yeah.
All right. Last question is from our guy, Billy Wires. We'll close this out. He says, 4 men enter a cage match battle. And they are Steve Stone, Jason Benetti, Len Casper, and Darren Jackson. Who walks out as a champion with 3 new heads on their mantle?
Oh man, that is tough.
It's all the broadcast. So Stoney, Benetti, DJ, and Len Casper. Who you got?
Who's the most ruthless person that we know? Steve Stone. Steve Stone.
We don't know him personally.
Oh yeah, we do. I think I said fuck sour cream one time and he banned me.
He blocked you.
I probably just got blocked because I said that. I said Steve Stone and fuck in the same sentence, and now I'm fucking black. But no, he is very ruthless. I think Steve would cut your hammies just so you couldn't move around. He'd even do it to Jason. Just so you can't even fucking move around, and then he would go to town on these motherfuckers. He would kill them all.
So you got to think about this for a second, because I think everyone would put Benetti out first.
Yeah.
But
I would.
Benetti has rose in this industry incredibly.
He's Kaiser Soze, baby.
Right. And so let me lay this out for you. He goes, "Hey guys, look, we're gonna fight. I gotta bring a cane in so that I can keep my balance.
Yeah.
Or it's a sword." And it puts everyone's heads off.
Oh yeah, he'd fight dirty.
Yeah,
100% would fight dirty.
I agree with that.
No, Stone's his teacher, so the teacher.
You guys both good calls here. Just to jump back on that Steve Stone thing, everyone that takes it as a badge of honor getting blocked by Steve Stone, and they're like, "Oh, showing the picture. Oh, 108. Don't show the pictures from Playgirl." Motherfuckers, we wrote an entire article about that Playgirl shit 5 years ago, and Stoney has one of our shirts. So we're professionals at this, okay? Y'all out there getting black week shit like that, that's amateur hour.
Getting blocked is easy.
Getting blocked is easy.
Unblocked.
Staying unblocked when you got a prominent article of a man naked like that who loves the black people, that's professional shit right there, right?
That shit. Not even close. Almost didn't even get out.
I'll be honest with you guys. The only guy who I think is, physically strong enough to win this, probably could whoop all 3 other guys' asses at once, is Darren Jackson.
Yeah.
Darren Jackson still looks like he's in shape. He had testicular cancer and battled through that shit. He's a fucking tough guy. So I expect him to dominate this. But I did like both your angles on other alternatives to the battle.
We can all agree that Len Casper will be the first one to get killed.
You got too much of that Cub steak on him still. Yep. Stoney's washed it off. Casper still got it too.
Got some time. He's got to get it. Yeah, he's got to get it.
Too many people are going to confuse him for Len Bramer.
Are you the bass player guy? Yeah. Oh, you're dead first. Sorry, Tracy.
It's true. It's true. That's why we get the top bunk in the bus.
You,
Me and Cliff Burton sitting around sleeping right next to each other.
I knew it was coming, and it still was shocking when he said it.
Absolutely terrible. That's it. That's our show. We'll see you guys in the ballpark. Thanks for watching.